my era, I had to memorize phone numbers, my guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you carried a little notepad.
Right.
Dead serious, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you had to actually like go up to girls and be like, hey, what's up? And you get rejected all the time.
Yeah.
The men in this day and age, they don't like rejection, dude. They don't like being told no, so they have egos.
Bro.
And you build an ego, a true ego,
Yeah.
through being rejected multiple times.
Yeah.
And knowing
Yeah.
your limits.
Man.
People shop for people like they're shopping for goddamn produce in the store.
Yeah.
This one's bruised, this one's marked up, I don't want that one, that one looks okay. And then you open it up and it's still got brown spots inside.
Fuck.
You fucking open up the avocado, it's rotten.
Yeah.
You looked at it on the outside, it looked good.
Yeah.
You take it home, it's done. Like you
Yeah.
can't even eat it.
Yeah.
That's a good metaphor.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People
That's-
aren't produce.
Man, like. Okay,
You gotta
like,
smell it, you gotta touch it, you gotta
Yeah.
make sure it's soft enough. You can't be like, you know what I mean?
right. Right.
Unnatural
Like
interactions
mushy.
are this. Pictures don't tell you shit. And
No.
they tell you that from the beginning,
No.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at a book and you look at the cover, and how many times have you picked up a magazine or cover and then you look on the inside, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy. Man, like, I don't mean to sound conceited, but it's like growing up, like, I wasn't used to, like, rejection.
Right.
Like, and whenever it happened, like, I took it really bad. Like, I like
Neither
it
was
now.
Buddha.
Huh?
Neither was Buddha.
Yeah. And now I'm like learning to be okay with rejection. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and I'm like, man, this feels so unnatural, but I know
And it
I
has
have- I
nothing to
have
do with
it.
you not being shit or not valuable. It has
Right.
everything to do with that's not your choice on that person's taste.
Yeah.
They might be your taste, but it has to be the other way around.
Yeah.
And if
whatever
that
it's-
means that just means you're not their taste. And
Yeah.
that's not an insult.
Yeah.
There are how many billions of women in
Yeah.
the world?
Yeah.
And you're getting mad over one
Yeah.
or two or
Yeah.
three or four
Or even
or
10,
100.
bro. Yeah.
Doesn't
like,
matter. How many
doesn't
women
matter.
are in Winnipeg altogether?
Oh,
Single
yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Single attractive women. And you're getting mad over two?
Probably like
for one night on a Saturday?
200,000,
For the
bro.
rest of your life?
Yeah.
How many years you got
Mm.
left in this and you're getting mad over that? Because your ego got hurt.
Right.
How many times you get rejected as a musician?
Oh.
At the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Right? You're all afraid of that. Everyone's afraid of that because they
Yeah.
want instant gratification.
Yeah.
Gratification, real work doesn't come with like instant. It comes with
Facts.
building,
Delayed.
right? You build a house, you're going to build your basement out of cardboard and then the rest of the house with wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Simps, take notes.
All right, yo. welcome.
All right.
To today's episode of the Vybe podcast.
It's a Vibe season 2.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a Vibe. We just
And the
changed.
vibes we trust.
just changed the name recently.
Yep.
But yeah, we're on season 2. We're doing guests every single week. Guests from all walks of life, from
Yep.
all backgrounds,
Yep.
unique stories. This
Yep.
is the season to tune in.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for tuning in and showing your support. Please follow and subscribe. It takes 5 seconds and it really helps us grow and spread these stories to a wider audience. So thank you.
thank you very much, guys. Like, it's been really amazing, this journey of us that we've been going on, and I'm really looking forward to, having this conversation with today's guest. I'm just gonna let him introduce himself. Take it away.
Nice. I'm Ramiro S2.12, not originally from Winnipeg, grew up in Regina, Chilean background, Chilean parents, born 1980. I'm old school, man. I don't look it, but I'm getting there.
Wow.
Getting the years, getting onto middle age. Don't feel it though, so
That's
still
good.
playing soccer with the young cats.
Yeah, you don't look it
Yeah.
either.
No, dude, I keep in shape, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And-
good.
Yeah, like physical activity was my background back in the day. My dad was a pro soccer player in Chile, so yeah, we weren't allowed to sit around and do nothing. It was like running sprints up back hill, like
Yeah.
backwards, uphill, downhill, doing soccer training,
Right.
stretching, all that stuff, and then martial arts when I was young. So keeping young, yeah. I have a background in drumming and percussion, so I started when I was about 5. Just playing with like a Latin American, South American, Chilean, Andean music. And then it progressed to like, I didn't want to do that stuff anymore. So through high school, I played drums for like punk rock bands and metal bands and like prog rock and some jazz as I got later in the years. And then as I got older, I think when I was 17, I was sneaking into clubs at the age of 17 in Regina, where they played Latin music. El Salvadorians and Chileans and all types of Latin. Most of the bass in Regina was El Salvadorians and Chileans at the beginning. Now we have a mix. And then I just learned how to, self-taught mostly in the beginning, how to play and dance that music. And then it progressed into research and reading and listening and networking. And eventually here I am doing Afro-Cuban stuff. Like
Nice.
folkloric Afro-Cuban stuff.
Well,
Tied
you're
to, like-
Chilean.
yeah. Regina-born Chilean parents, yeah. My parents, my dad was a professional soccer player and a nurse in Chile before the whole coup d'etat happened in 1973, September 11th, the original September 11th, 1973. And then my mom and dad came here in 1975 on a plane by emergency because my mom was in a concentration camp, tortured and raped. And then we came here, and then I was born in 1980 in Regina. My brother was born there, so he's like 8 years older than me. But yeah, like strong roots in Chile, strong roots in Latin America, strong roots in resistance. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's intense.
It's deep.
But I guess that's kind of life in a sense.
Here I am, man. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us are here not because of choice, but necessity.
Yeah.
Including European ancestry, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us were here by necessity and not by choice.
Right.
The inability to express ourselves of who we are as human beings, even if that sometimes is a little whack, but it is what it is. I think human beings have the right to express themselves and be who they are.
Right.
So that's why we're here, and hopefully make a better world out of it, and at least in this little nook of community, making moments of happiness occur, because we all know the garbage that's going on out there.
Yeah.
So
hardship does one of two things, right? It either turns you into a really shitty, rotten person, or it turns you into a really charactered, strong individual, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing about struggle. And we
motivation.
We touched on that.
Break you.
We touched on that a little bit in the last episode, the last guest we spoke with, where we were talking about in every group of people, there's good people and bad people. But because we live in a fear-based society, we have to label and define things in a certain way to understand the world that we live in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, always things got to be black and white. That's what they tell us. But there's a lot
nuances.
of gray, man.
There's nuances.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray in the world, man. So tell me, obviously you got strong Latin roots, but like, is that where the love of music comes from? Is it from your family, or was it just like personal interest?
Everyone in my family, including in Chile, can play an instrument. And they're all physical, so they all can play soccer and they all can play music, right? So whether it's singing or guitar playing, the majority of my family plays guitar. I'm like the only individual that plays percussion in my whole family, not a harmonic or melodic instrument. And then I have another cousin who plays percussion too in Chile, and he's a boxer, so he was another guy that took martial arts as opposed to soccer as a main sport. But it's like the musical background comes with me playing and growing up with music rehearsals at home, like Andean music. I don't know if you guys ever heard Andean music with like panpipes and bamboo flutes, and it's really like South American based. There's a lot of groups that we can show you that are like folkloric, sort of like revolutionary political music that happened out of the 70s, or that whole thing that happened with Nixon and Pinochet in Chile. So that's where I grew up, is kind of resistance Andean music. It's like really Inca based, so a lot of the background of it is from the Inca people or the Quechua people. And it's not necessarily super syncopated, but it has touches of African diaspora in it. Some of the rhythms and stuff, and some of the things they refuse to believe or admit that it does. But one of the main dances of Chile is called the cueca, and it's in a 6/8 pattern, and it's almost exactly like the type of music that I specialize in, played in, which is Cuban rumba, which is like even the dances imitate in nature either like a type of bird, but mostly like a rooster and a hen courting each other in circles and moving like that. So the dancing ties hand in hand with the music. And that's the difference, I think, with a lot of cultures around the world compared to like here. Hip hop, excluded from that, is the dancing went hand in hand with the music. You never had crews that were separate. Then it got commercialized, and then you separated it, because they didn't think that the dancing could sell as much as the music and hip hop and stuff like that. Because originally, hip hop was born out of New York.
It was breakdance.
The dancing crew was never separate from the DJ or the MCs. It was always one crew.
Right. So it's as it became more commercialized. Right.
They needed to sell it, and you can't pay that many people. You know what I mean? This is the whole thing of like multi-instrumentalists and stuff like that, or dudes that record by themselves with no musicians. It's the money thing. It's like you can't pay 7 or 8 musicians and dancers and like a whole crew of 15 or something. And this is why you don't see big bands and stuff like that. Unless
you're telling us
it's money, dude.
I never we see that every time we try to do a show,
because they want more capital, right? So the big guys, the record companies and stuff like that, what they ended up doing is like, we just need 2 guys, because we can't pay your 8 people. Right. So how do we do this? Because I want that money, because they take like what, 70% sometimes, 80%. Sometimes they never even told you they took the whole plot, right? They took all the money because they want all that capital. They don't want to spread it. They don't want to share it. So that's where it dies. So that type of music comes with that. I specialize in Cuban rumba, which I researched and did a lot of before I went to Cuba. Now, recently in January, I went for the 3rd time to play at the Havana Jazz Festival, the International Havana Jazz Festival with Papa Mambo. And that's inspired me to boot this thing. You guys kind of went at the same time and asked me to do this presentation at the same time as I started amalgamating a crew. There's about 5 or 6 of us right now.
Okay.
We're gonna be like, I'm training and teaching out of 2 different music schools, Living Music Winnipeg, of course, and then I'm doing out of Chantel's Good Sky Studio downtown.
Okay.
Nice.
Chantel Carrig, and I'm starting to build like what I'm calling like a percussion army. So I'm training people to see who's adapt and who's better at this type of stuff, because not everybody, it's hard to learn, man.
Yeah.
Like and it comes from originally from before there were borders, Nigeria, Ghana, Western Africa.
Right.
A lot of these rhythms, right? And it's Yoruba based mainly. There's some Igbo and some Hausa and some rivers influence, but mostly it's Yoruba culture in Cuba, and what they call Santeria.
Yeah.
Santeria is Yoruba-based culture,
Yeah.
and the Orishas, the gods, mixed in with the saints.
So like what he's saying, like Yoruba is one of the 3 biggest tribes in Nigeria, and just like in West Africa as a whole. And a lot of like the influence in that music came from like the transatlantic slave trade, when a lot of slaves were taken from West Africa to the Caribbeans, to the North Americas.
All the way up to Halifax.
Yeah.
So this is why you have hip hop in Halifax, and you have all on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah.
You have influenced by Yoruba culture, Yoruba rhythms, New Orleans included.
That's my people.
New Orleans included.
Y'all put me on game. Y'all put me on game.
Of like the rhythm, the one rhythm you learn, which I don't know what they call it in Nigerian Yoruba culture, but in Spanish they call it the clave.
Yeah.
Right? The rhythm is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have that for sure.
It's an Afrobeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the basis of it.
Hear
it's
that
called
so
clave,
much.
and in Spanish, clave means 2 things. It means the key or the password.
Yeah.
And when you have that, that's where all your rhythms are based off. The clave can change, and there's different, but rumba clave is slightly different. It has a push on the 4. So your regular clave you hear in Afrobeat is, and rumba clave is.
Yeah.
And that's what you hear mainly in most rumba. There are mostly three main types of rumba. There's yambu, which is like a slower version, which is, it expresses in the dance, it shows the rejuvenation of someone that's old and sick to young, because you increase the speed over time. And those are mainly played with like what we call, you know what cajons are? So cajons are like those wooden boxes, they're like drum kits.
Right.
Those are from Cuba, also from Peru, because they had Afro-Peruvian influence there. But they also play these type of cajon cubanos, which are sort of like congas. They're upright and the surface is flat like a conga, but it's wood. And the reason that is because they weren't allowed their own drums in Cuba, and they mixed cultures. So they wouldn't allow you be from the same tribe on the same sugarcane plantation, because they didn't want you to organize.
Yeah.
So they had to come up and mix and do different music and do it secretly. And the reason you have, say, saints or orishas, Santeria, right?
Yeah.
The orishas like Shango.
Yeah.
Shango is one of the main ones.
Yes.
He's his colors are red and white. He's the thunder and lightning god.
Yeah. He's
Double
the Thor
axes.
of Africa. Yeah.
Dancing in rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Shango is one of the main ones.
Yeah.
They tied it to Saint Barbara, Santa Barbara, which is the same, so they could disguise to the Catholics and the Spaniards and the Portuguese that we take part in your religion, but what you don't know is that we put them in place of the orishas that we have, the saints.
Do you have a particular interest in like history and culture? Like, how did you learn all it? Okay,
research
so
and talking.
It's a passion
and reading and a lot of listening and learning.
I mean, if you grew up in like Cuba, in like Panama,
you know this
like
stuff.
Peru, you know this stuff.
You know this stuff. That's part of their culture, but they don't even know it's part of their culture, because even say like the whiter skinned people in those countries learn this stuff too, because there's a lot of people initiated that are not black in this type of culture, and they don't even know the roots of it, right? Like even the sense that you hear salsa music, all of that comes from that basis, from rumba, Cuban rumba. Most salsa music is Cuban music. What they did is they heard it from outside different parts of the world in those same areas, and they interpreted it the way they wanted to, the way they heard it, because they don't have the ability to go to Cuba and learn it, right? The different types of music that evolved out of Cuba being an isolated, embargoed country is incredible. Like, it depends on what part of Cuba you're in. It's not a huge island. So you have different styles of rumba, different styles of this type of music. You have a style of music that they play in like Santiago, which is the Orientia, the east part, that is called changui. You have Guantanamo changui, you have son, you have Havana, timba. Timba is a newer form of salsa out of Cuba that's like insane. So I recently put up clips on my story on Instagram and Facebook of timba that we played on Saturday night. And that stuff, it's like it mixes jazz, hip hop, rock, funk, and Latin music, like son cubano, like Cuban son. all into one, and it's explosive. It's like you see parties until 5 a.m. playing this stuff, right? Like it's nuts in Cuba. So, and they don't know when to stop. Like they just party. Like so, all of that basis is what I wanted one to learn, because one, it's like I played a lot of like what I like to call vanilla music, a lot of backbeat music, and growing out of Saskatchewan, Regina, the majority of my drumming came with like 2/4 rhythms, came with like the drum kit playing country or rock or funk, basic funk, and so this music is syncopated, so you have layers, and the minimum type, like say Cuban rumba, doesn't involve any melodic instruments, right? It's all percussion and harmonic voices, and it's church music, so it's spiritual music that uplifts you. And if you see this stuff live, it hits you differently than when you hear it. You can hear it and it's like, oh, that's really cool, but when you see it live, because this is what I compare, because my research, when I researched hip-hop from New York and Cuban rumba from Cuba, it's the same coast, the same diaspora of people, and then hip-hop was born in neighborhoods like the Bronx, Harlem, right, Brooklyn. So all of those neighborhoods were communities of people from different parts of the world that were disenfranchised. So you had Latin people from all over, Peru, Chile, El Salvador, Mexico, you name it. And then you have people that are Nigerian descent, people of Afro-Cuban descent, Afro-Caribbean, Dominican, you have Haitians, all mixed in, and that's what created hip-hop and salsa in New York, because it's a mecca of music, right? You're so poor in that city that you need something to do that you know, that you're able to do without much money. In hip-hop, the original hip-hop in ciphers, you had improvisers, rap battlers that would make up
Grandmaster Flash,
doing things and making up poetry right on the spot, right? In Cyprus, Cuban rumba, it's the same. The only difference is it's older, so it came from there, but they're also improvising poetry, and they have call and response, choruses, they have open verses where they'll make fun of somebody in the crowd they don't like, or they'll try and flirt with a lady they like in the crowd. They'll make the stuff up on the spot in between the chorus, call and response verses, so they'll make poetry up on the spot. So it's like original hip-hop, original rap, but without electronic instruments, because why? Because you don't have the access to record players and stuff, right? The embargo, right? So it's the same sort of stallion of music, the same feel. It's spiritual, uplifting music, and it tells people what's going on at that moment in their lives in the world.
Man, it's beautiful, man. Like music, like transcends, you know, cultures, time, you know, everything. You know, I think, music is the universal language. You know, it's the music,
and knowing that, like. Every time I I describe this stuff to say like a younger Nigerian person, they get amazed. They're like, because I have bata at home. I play bata. Bata is the double-sided drums that they play for those type of rituals and something. It has 6/8 patterns. And it's a really ritualistic ceremonial drum. And it's played one per person, 3 of them, right? And I still have some at home and I play them. And there's people here now that are from Cuba that defected that are in my group that play those nationally. They're like professionals at it, right? And when I tell them I play that, they're like, people still play that? I'm like, yeah, people still play that. Like, this music still exists, not the way it did, like, necessarily, like, 500-600 years ago, but the actual traditions got brought through, and then when they hear it, it's like, this is how the music sounded in Nigeria before the whole transatlantic slave
before colonialism.
Right. And so when I see is a lot of, like, not all of them, but I see a lot of, like, Western Africans that were colonized. That have no idea about this type of music, and then they hear it. This is the kind of stuff my grandparents were listening to back then. They're like, yeah, dude, it still exists, and it's alive.
Trust me, man. Like,
it's alive. So they hear, they recognize the patterns, but it's so,
and they're attracted to it.
It's still so different from where it originated, but it still has that same core. That's beautiful,
right? And then you hear it in modern Afrobeat music, and you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I get it.
That's crazy. Talk about a real blast from the past.
Man, like being Nigerian, man, like we grow up like in colonialism, you know, whether that's like Christian or like Islam, right? And it's like, especially on the Christian side, you know, they tell us, you know, that our culture and our way of life, you know, was less than and inferior and
savage.
Was savage, right? and so it's like, you know, for like Nigerians, like for my parents, man, like, you know, like believing in Orisha or Shango, like all of that is like traditional and like in the past, like Jesus is the way, you know,
right?
Like, and it's like a lot of our culture has been lost. You know what I mean? We don't do traditional like ceremonies and rituals and all of these things. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of that stuff was fucked. Like they used to do like human sacrifice, you know, and blood sacrifice, you know, right? But
ancient humans, man, we weren't necessarily the wisest people.
No,
we were trying to figure it out.
Yeah. But it's like a lot of that stuff was beautiful, like the music, you know, the fashion, you know what I mean, the heritage, you know, and yeah, like just hearing that from someone who's like Cuban, you know, or like from someone that's like from like Panama, right? And it's just like, wow, it's like, man, you're more African than I am, you know what I mean? Like
it didn't die with, like, if you're attracted to it for some reason. Even Nigerians that have never heard the music are attracted to it for some reason when they hear it. And even in your Afrobeat music, the clave is still there.
Yes.
And the clave is one of the oldest rhythms. Like even in rock and blues music and stuff, all of that stuff has clave in it.
Yes.
So if you go like B.B. King, a lot of the strumming on the guitars, all that old music has that beat in it, that pulse, right? When you hear rock music, jazz, it all has it behind it. Yeah. So it's
I mean, black people invented all those music.
So for some reason it stayed around this long, right? And I don't think they didn't kill it. They tried to, but they couldn't. No. And that's the thing, is like the stubbornness of the people that wanted to keep their traditions and their rituals alive, because they even tried to squander it in Cuba. It was illegal to play this stuff in Cuba before that's like crazy. The 1950s and 1960s. Like even the music, what you hear is like salsa music. Yeah. Hand drums and all the African like influential drums weren't allowed in this type of music until Cachao, who was like a bass player, decided, and he had a brother that was a percussionist, to fuse. Because before that, what you had was like danzón and stuff, and all it was played with like what they call timbales. If you know Tito Puente, you know timbales. Yeah. Timbales are a hybrid form of timpani, because they didn't want to carry those around at parties, because timpanis are like massive and copper and heavy, so you had to carry around for parties. And all they played was like simple European and Spanish, French dances that went kind of slow, like waltzes and then different things. But then like the African stuff was considered savage. Right. But when they fused it, the whole world fell in love with it. Because it wasn't the Cubans that were able to show this stuff to the rest of the world. It was people from New York like Tito Puente and the Fania All-Stars that showed it to the rest of the world. And then all of a sudden you started seeing salsa bands pop up in Colombia, Panama, Mexico, Canada, the US were popping up like crazy, even Korea and Japan. So you have Japanese and Korean salsa bands. One of the Japanese ones is called Orquestra de la Luz. And then you even have like Tony Zucker, who's half Peruvian and his mom is Japanese descent. And she sings in pure Spanish. They just won a Grammy. Yeah. So it's like, this music was like, and then you even hear it nowadays in like, say, Bad Bunny. That whole album has live percussionists, live musicians with the African diaspora music behind it, pushing it. And that stuff, it drives. I don't care who you are. Yeah. You listen to that stuff, even if you're a racist, you're bobbing your head. You're bobbing your head. You're like, I don't like this music, and you're still bobbing your head. I've seen it happen, dude. I've seen it, like, even live, I've seen it happen. Like, what kind of music is this? And then by the end of the night, you see him tapping his foot. And I don't care, he's trying to fight it, but he's tapping his foot.
It's the music that cures racism.
Well, it's a way of communication without too much heavy context. Yeah. It's movement. It's a form of language, because literally when you learn this type of drumming, you're not allowed to play drums. You're supposed to beatbox it.
Yeah. That's how I learned how to drum.
Bata is the same way.
It's crazy.
Back home, that's how I learned how to drum. Like,
you had to beatbox it. You have to, even the rhythms when you're playing congas, before they give you have to learn. And you play on wood, dude. Like you train on wood for the calluses and stuff, because it hurts the hands.
That's how we still do it back home.
Yeah, there's a method behind it, because this is older than written music. Yeah. Exactly. This type of music is older than the Italian theory and stuff like that. And so there's like, and that's why they considered it savage, because they didn't want to sit down and transcribe it. Right. Now they're doing it. Yeah. And now they're making money off of it. Yeah. Right. Because we can make money off this stuff. Yeah. But back then it was like, it's savage, because they didn't understand it. Yeah. Because it was something different, syncopated wise, than European music. Yeah. And that's why they came and they're like, well, how is this stuff moving people? And this is why they wanted to restrict it, because they know that it empowers people.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then when you have poetry and lyrics that are speaking of something that you can relate to.
Like, I mean, when you look at like slavery in America, right? And like they used to use like hymns and gospels, you know what I mean? To like
and
send
even that
messages.
Stuff was illegal.
Yeah, that was illegal, but they used to like sing those to send messages to like teach folks like where to go, like, you know what I mean? On like when they were like runaway slaves, when they were trying to find the railroad. Like the song "Wade in the Water," right? Cody was telling them to like stay by the water. You know what I mean? Like, because it's safest by the water.
And they won't be able to track you with the bloodhounds.
Yeah.
In
so
Cuba, there's a story of that. So the drumming, conga drumming, like conga drumming and drumming in general, hand drumming. So like I said, they split up the tribes. So they bring a bunch of slaves and you weren't able to be with your family.
Yeah.
But you knew somehow that they were alive. And the plantations are huge, sugar plantations.
Yeah.
So what you heard on breaks and stuff, and even on Sundays, is there's different codes for different families. So different families play different licks.
Yeah.
So you would know if there was like a funeral coding, someone got married, someone died of importance, what was happening, if someone was still alive, is someone okay, some new people came from your tribe, you heard it.
Yeah.
From a distance. So before cell phones and telephones, that's how you communicated.
Yeah.
They're communicating with the drums.
There was war about to happen, and we're organizing, we got to get together.
Yeah.
Shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
This was the code.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so
real
that
shit.
that
More
carried
complicated
over.
than Morse code, because you knew.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, that lick? My uncle plays that lick.
Yeah.
I know that lick.
Yeah.
Right? So you heard it at a distance, so you knew, okay, we're still alive, we still got it.
Yeah.
That's how you did it.
Oh, it's crazy how it's transcended. Like you see this in different locations, different eras throughout time, the same thing. Like how they tried to stifle music and how music becomes a vessel of the people to express.
Even here, dude, even for like the Caucasian community, when they wanted to hear like rock and blues and jazz, when they were calling it the devil's music, right? And it was like, no, I want to hear this because it's making me feel good. It just happens to be played by people that understood this type of music because we didn't.
Yeah.
And we called that the devil's music, so we didn't want to learn it because music was hoarded by the church originally.
Facts.
In Europe. They didn't let folks, they call it folk music because people weren't educated on music like they knew.
Right.
Imagine how much like that music would have evolved if they would have just let that information go. They're always hoarding information in education, right?
Yeah.
Because that you become dependent to them to learn it.
Yeah.
This is why some of the best players come out of church, man.
Yeah.
Like for real, like some of these gospel players and even Nigerian churches, some of the musicians I've played with and hear out of there, I'm like, my God.
Yeah.
They're insane.
I mean, I learned how to play in church. Yeah.
I didn't have that access because the Catholic Church in my family wasn't necessarily seen as good people, considering the way that you're brought up in Catholicism in Chile.
Yeah.
My mom was left-handed, and my mom's also a lesbian. So I was raised by 3 moms. My dad's partner and him, and then would come like custody-wise every weekend, and then I was raised by a lesbian couple, both educated women, both like activists. So it's like when the Catholic culture didn't want us to exist. Technically, I left Regina because I was being pushed out. Like I was getting anonymous death threats from white supremacists and stuff for being vocal at Canada Post, because that's where I worked originally, right? I stood up to some pretty racist and heinous shit. And so I would get anonymous death threats. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Like I can't do that. I was DJing. I'm also like a turntablist. And I was DJing in Regina, and all my venues started drying up, and I started getting death threats and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I can't survive here. Yeah, I gotta go. And I came here because I was commuting here since 2011, 2012 to play with Papa Mambo as a conga player. Yeah. And they wanted me to move here for years, and then finally 2022, I was like, I'm out.
So did any of those problems come with you? Like, how is the difference between Regina and Winnipeg?
There's just as many racists, but it's harder for them to find you in a school of fish of more people and bigger community.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like even like I had friends that were of African descent and stuff like that. They ended up moving out of Regina because they didn't necessarily feel welcome because the community isn't as big. Yeah. And it's not a big city.
Yeah.
And it's known for being Yoko. And it's also known in history as being that, and Moose Jaw as being the headquarters for the Canadian section of like the congregations of the KKK in Canada. Was
Proud
Regina
Boys.
and Moose Jaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Elon Musk's mother is from Regina, South African white community.
Yeah.
And her father was the guy that wanted to start the Nazi party out of Saskatchewan in the 30s.
Wow.
And they gathered as the KKK and the Nazi party in that era and before. Because he was kicked out of South Africa because they didn't feel welcome there after that whole shit was going down, and then he wanted to start.
Yeah, apartheid, yeah.
But there's a huge, even like a lot of, and I want to, like, I don't know names, but like a lot of police officers and stuff that are tied to all that stuff out there. So I'm out. Facts. Like I was out. And I feel sorry because my mom's and stuff still live there, and my brother and stuff, but it's like, I'm a little more vocal than they are.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't tolerate that garbage.
Yeah.
Right?
As you should, man.
No, I've like, even with my martial arts background and DJing certain locations and venues, I've had my instances where like Sons of Odin's or racist like skinheads and stuff will come by the venue and try to intimidate me or try to catch me slipping outside.
Right.
And I've had to show them a thing or two in the sense that I've like, I have to humble them, thinking that, you know, like you may think you know violence, but when you train it like I did for 37, 38 years, it's a different story. I don't like to do it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, or talk to them. There's been instances where I've talked to them. I'm like, this is a waste of your time, dude. This is gonna end up bad for you.
Yeah.
and everybody else.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, like trust me, you do not want to
Yeah.
do this.
So
Like,
Yeah.
like you're gonna get
So,
hot.
Let's pivot. Let's pivot then to martial arts.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
A little bit, yeah. But
You mentioned
open it up.
something about your mom being left-handed, right? And it's like, damn, like
Catholics didn't like that.
like growing up
Yeah.
back home, yeah, like left-handed
Whippings,
folks
They would
were
hit
like,
your
sticks.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Stuff
saying
like that.
you're the devil's child. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
dare you be left-handed?
So much
you know what I mean?
stupid superstition.
Yeah, like there are people in my family, like even myself, you know what I mean? Like where it's like I started writing with my left and like it was quickly like discouraged, like very quickly. Like
Very
Yeah.
creative people.
my aunts, like they used to like tie her hands to her legs so she doesn't write with her left hand.
Some of the best conga players in the world are left-handed or ambidextrous.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm ambidextrous, thankfully. Like they didn't take it away, but yeah, that's crazy. Like I didn't know that was like
Anything different, dude. If you talk
Yeah.
different, if you looked slightly different, if you
Yeah.
like liked things differently,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
listened to different music, if you
Yeah.
didn't, like if you weren't like the rest of the people,
like
that's,
if you were in status
you're
quo,
the devil. Like
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's just that you're different, and they didn't.
different was always looked bad upon.
And now we're looking at things as difference is evolution because we're a little stagnant as humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We need creation because I think we're understanding that now we're out of that pool of money. So the only way to survive that as human beings that we've done in history is to create
Yeah,
because we've done enough destruction.
yeah,
And I'm talking creating things that aren't tangible. That's a very human thing to create things that aren't tangible that you can't feel but are a sensation and emotion because emotions are very human. That's what
yeah.
that's what when we go that animal doesn't feel anything. That's when we go they're not human, right? But that's garbage because we all know animals feel stuff.
Facts.
So when you feel and think, that's art. That's intangible. Intangible things, right? Things that
Yeah.
you create out of nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like I'm not I don't believe in God and I'm an atheist, but if I did, I think the closest thing that we have to God is creating things out of nothing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Even if they are mistakes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you take a look at biblical history, God made some mistakes. He doesn't
Yeah.
like to admit it, but he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is like adapting to those mistakes and creating. So creation is like the very human thing.
Yeah.
It's and interacting with other human beings.
Yeah.
Because when I teach music, I tell my students play with intention, and your job as a drummer or percussionist is to make two groups of people feel good. You're not included in that.
Mm.
That comes after as a byproduct. You're supposed to make the audience feel good and let them disappear into that.
Right.
So the outside world, and there's this little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to make your musicians, your other bandmates feel good so that they're safe playing what they need to play
Yeah.
while you hold the tempo
Right.
Mhm.
and hold the beat.
Man, I think one musician for me that fully embodies, what it's like to be a musician in terms of like creating that bubble almost of like, like
Safe.
because like music is very vibrational, you know what I mean, right? And it's like when you're in the right environment of music, and we're all creatives, we all make music, like when you hit that flow state
Yeah.
and like nothing else in the world like exists and
That's
matter,
Zen.
like you're just in it.
That's Zen.
Right?
Yeah.
For me, the one artist who was like so undeniably always on was Bob Marley. Like if you ever watch any of it, there's this one concert where he was performing and like fucking thunder and lightning was striking, bro. Like, and
But
it was
everyone
just
felt
like,
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like crazy. Like
Yeah.
this dude felt like he was like enchanting like the universe, bro.
That's why not everyone can be a front man,
Yeah.
right? Because some people think they can be front men.
Right.
But when I hold a group, like the guy that sings for the Rumba group for us is named Ariel, right? And there's Jordan, who's a percussionist. He also sings. But Ariel has the ability to improvise in Spanish or Yoruba mixed. So Yoruba and Spanish while
Wow.
improvising, while we call and response.
Wow.
And his ability to do that, like the ability to and involve the crowd,
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah.
So that energy is not in everybody.
No showmanship.
Just
no.
like in say in
Yeah.
Orishas, not everybody has the energies of whatever god. Some people are baptized in Shango because they
Yeah.
have that energy to make people move and like the thunder and the lightning.
Yeah.
Some are Yamaya, some are Elegua. It depends on your energy and who you relate with, because everyone has different pieces of personality.
Yeah.
And so not everybody's designed to be a frontman.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're designed to amplify the frontman.
Facts.
And that's when your ego needs to drop, because it's not about you. It's not
Facts.
about chops.
Facts.
It's about It's about pocket, feel, and how you make people feel.
Facts.
Because if you're yelling the whole time, imagine you having a conversation, some guy's coming to tell you a story, and all they do is yell at one volume the whole time. What happens?
Mm-hmm.
You shut out.
Yeah, it's like
dynamics.
I want to get out of this situation. It's uncomfortable.
Right?
You don't want to be
I've met people like that yell at you all the time. Like, and you're like, okay, dude, I need a break. Come back when you learn some dynamics and how to storytell.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like the best MCs that I've heard don't necessarily have one tone or yelling, because there's types of rappers that are like that yell the whole time through, and sometimes they do it live and not in recording. You hear this guy and they're yelling. It's like, dude, you're on a microphone, just chill. And then when they have different cadences and different volume dynamics and different ways of using their voice with every song, that to me, that's a musician. The other hand, it's when you're on one tone and one dynamic the whole like every single song you have. It's like, dude, change it up.
Facts.
Right? Because you're not, how bored will you be if you play the same drum beat for a whole album? I get bored. There's a couple bands that do it. I'll name one, AC/DC. But people love it because it's a simplistic way of just existing in that music. I listen to AC/DC every once in a while because sometimes I just need to like bang my head and just sit there and go, okay, now I got all that.
It's like a palate cleanser.
Right. Like sniffing some coffee before sniffing some other cologne.
Exactly. Exactly.
There are some things that you're saying that are making me look at things in a totally different way than I did. That's cool, the way that you think about things from different angles deeply. I did not expect that. Wow.
46 years of living, my guy.
Okay. And it's interesting, like how important the percussion is in all music, and in keeping that tempo. It's like the foundation of
in life.
The foundation of music. The beat, and like I touch on that in my lyrics sometimes too, talking about that sort of stuff. Right. You mentioned martial arts. You've been in martial arts for a long time. Like what martial arts have you practiced in? What are your favorites? Let's get into that a little bit.
Let's go. So starting at 5 years old, I grew up in a neighborhood called North Central, which is very similar to North Winnipeg. I call it Sunshine Village because I like to give it a positive connotation on that.
Right.
So when I walked through that neighborhood or drove through it when I was younger, or when I lived there, I called it Sunshine Village. It's called North Central. Or Moccasin Flats, they called it, because it's very indigenous, right? Very Cree. I also learned how to speak some Cree in that neighborhood growing up, because I participated in indigenous rituals and sweats and sun dances and stuff like that, and served at feasts, and I had to speak with elders when I was younger. My Cree is horrible now, so don't even ask me. I know how to say hello and count a few numbers. But when I was 5, I grew up in that neighborhood. So when I was 6, I got my nose broken twice. By the same dude. He was like this big white kid, right? And my mom was like, okay. And I started getting scrappy because I was getting angry from getting beat up. So I just pick fights in the neighborhood. Picking fights. 6-year-old, skinny, little, probably like 30-pound kid. And then my mom was like, okay, we need to get something to get that energy out. So she found some people that would like, because we didn't have much money. So finding people to volunteer to teach me. So I started with karate and taekwondo. Did some boxing when I was younger. A little bit of judo. And then when I quit for a bit, it was like a couple years. And then when I was like 14, 15, there's this incident that I had when I was 15, I think going on to 16, where I was getting into like psychedelics. And I ended up dropping way too much acid one night. Like it was a bad trip, dude. Like it was like 6 tabs.
Been there.
Like instead of taking 1, I took 6.
Right.
Because I was young and I was hanging with some dudes that were not very nice people, so they thought this would be fun, right?
Let's
give this up 15-year-old and see where it goes.
That's a lot.
That almost permanently fried me, so that's drug-induced psychosis. I was seeing hallucinations without it. They tried to medicate me for like a couple months, and it was like this new medication they were giving to like epileptic kids, like experimental, and it turned me into a robot. I was like, no. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time. I felt like garbage, right? And then my mom found this guy that she worked at a women's shelter. And she was helping one of his friends out that was at the women's shelter, that was being abused by her spouse. And he was like this heavy metal Iron Maiden listening, kung fu practicing white guy that trained with some Chinese masters in Saskatoon and Regina in this martial art form, kung fu form called boxing chole foot. Before that, I took some Hungar, which is like tiger crane from China, which is like it's one of the major forms. It's pretty strong form. It's like solid and very like conditioning. Boxing chole foot kind of mixed northern Sulam or Shaolin, what you know is Shaolin, Sulam in Southern Chinese and in Cantonese, and like the Southern forms of like, I don't know if you know about the Kung Fu forms in China.
I know a few, like some of the words that you're saying I am picking up
So
on.
the Southern forms were like different than the Northern forms. because the north was colder and the ground was harder, and there isn't as much condensed city or urban, so it's not as tropical. So a lot of the movements were big and like crane-ish and like bird-like, right?
So most of the forms are based on animals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then the southern form was like you had to fight in alleyways and tight spaces in mud because it was raining and tropical. So when you mix the two masters, one from the northern and one from the southern school of boxing, or the Chilean-Canadian school, mixed their students because they couldn't beat each other in a huge fight. So they mixed their students and realized these two forms can be combined. So they made boxing Chilean-Canadian, which is like northern and southern style, which was like champions for years. And then I took some Wing Chun, a little bit of Wing Chun, did a lot of Tai Chi and Qigong, so for the healing and recovery.
Yeah.
And then I think when I was like 20, I went to a house party thinking I was the shit. And a wrestler took me to the ground, winded me, and I was like, I don't know shit. I don't know this stuff.
You don't know ground.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for the longest time, there was no like, no grappling teachers, no schools that I wanted to go to. I tried to dip in like Aikido and stuff like that, but all I got was like this bullshito. This like these guys that like, yeah, we know this stuff and it'll help you. And no, I was like, I knew because I was smarter than that. And then eventually down the line, I just trained on my own at home, did a lot of weightlifting and stuff like that. And then when I had like a crisis. So I was engaged to a woman who was originally from Winnipeg, and I was going to engineering school and university at the time. And I was drinking at that time, but then I decided after that breakup, I wasn't going to drink because I turned into a miserable wreck, right? And then I was like, I dated this one girl who's half Bahamian, half Irish. And she was like, she went to Cuba, and she was like, she came back. She's like, oh, I love Cuban people, Cuban music. I'm like, deadly, because I know Cuban music. This is going to work out. And then it was like, she was flaky, right? So ended up, she like broke my heart. And I was like, I got to do something to like have an outlet because I don't drink. And I ended up finding this guy that I was going to Gold's Gym, and he was one of the trainers named Sean Quinn. And he was like a pro MMA fighter. And he got injured. He injured both his ACLs and MCLs. Like he blew his knees and continued to fight one time. Lost to a guy from Winnipeg here who ended up going to the UFC eventually after that fight. And he had to find a way because he was getting miserable and depressed, is my guess, because his wife was like, you got to do something. So he started teaching people, like just a small group of people, and I was one of the first. And that was like in 2013. Muay Thai, MMA, like jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Some judo grappling, a lot of boxing. And then it ended up branching out into like Bang Muay Thai from like Dwayne Ludwig, who was training some of us, the Henzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, stuff like that. So I did that from the time I was I started MMA not with him, but when I was about 31. And then until I was about 37, 38. And I was doing like training for semi-pro fights, amateur fights. I was supposed to represent Team Canada back in like 2017 in Dubai to fight in the 125 pound. I was 135 at the time, so dropping 10 pounds of weight in your late 30s is not ideal. Yeah. But the guy that I was supposed to compete with to get that spot didn't show up in Lethbridge. He just didn't show. And there I am in my skivvies, skinny as hell, looking like Christian Bale in The Mechanic, on a scale in the middle with a bunch of dudes, big dudes and girls. And I was like, okay. And then he didn't show, so I coached on that. And then after that, it was like I trained for another fight. And then the doctor, they do tests on you for heart and brain, like cardio scans and MRIs and stuff. And my heart had a weird palpitation. Like I had a weird beat to it. So they didn't want to let me fight. And then later they found out that it was just that my heart was like at an Olympic 26-year-old level, and that my resting heart rate was like 60 or below. And they didn't want to, they didn't think that it was normal in a 46-year-old or a 37-year-old at the time. And so I didn't get to fight, and that was the last time I ever trained, because I got a job at Canada Post because I needed a grown-up job. Being a musician and training as martial arts wasn't going to pay my mortgage and my car and my 2 dogs, because I got left, right? So I got left with all the money. And I was like, okay, so I'll be a postman. And then being a postman, walking 30 kilometers a day, and then going training at the end of the day, because I used to train 6 hours a day in MMA, 6 days a week, and then going to walking mail. I went to the doctor more walking mail, let's say, than training. So,
okay, so you don't train that much currently, or?
No, I train at home. Yeah.
You still do
and
train.
then these Cubans want me to train them how to fight, so I'm going to have to get heavy into that. I play soccer on Sundays and stuff like that for athletics, but I can still throw hands.
Yeah. I know you're getting into MMA.
I am.
Nice. What school?
I'm about to, but not yet.
I am K West.
Okay, cool.
Osborne.
Yeah, I've trained at WAMA before. I trained at Dave's gyms before, and I trained at CC. Yeah, at Giuseppe's school. Like a long time ago. I don't know. He probably won't remember. I dropped in once.
Nice.
Got my ass tooled, handed to me, and then
It's crazy with MMA, man.
It's hard.
Like you getting folded by dudes who are like smaller than you, shorter than you.
That was what I was doing, is enforcing guys, bodybuilders who come into the gym, and and they would never come back.
Man, they go on your back, and that's it, bro. It's a wrap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it. You get humbled. You get humbled real quick.
If someone gets on your back, you're cooked, bro.
Yeah.
But like, what like? I want to get into MMA, but I have a really bad knee. Like I've kicked a bag a few times, and it hurts. It's hurt really bad. What can you say? Like,
there's this company that sells a knee brace called Anaconda, and I don't know. I'm not really giving them any advertisement, but they're like I haven't used them, but I have friends that use it, and it works.
Anaconda.
Yeah, but like the thing is, if you're older, you got to train smarter, and if you have old injuries, train smarter. So if that knee hurts,
use the other one.
The other one, be ambidextrous. Because like even when I was learning like Bang Muay Thai, they teach you how to switch stances.
I can train with the other.
You go
leg.
southpaw or orthodox, right?
Yeah.
So that's train smart.
I can train with the other leg. My concern is I don't want one side of my body to be really strong and one side to be really weak, but at the same time,
like train it like it's like that kid that you had. Like if you have kids and one of them's a little slower than the other one. Treat it like that.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Give it some grace, because it's like you're giving your body grace. The one thing I can tell you is how much sugar do you eat?
Very little, because I have dental problems.
Okay, so sugar is out of the question. Water?
I could probably drink more.
Drink at least like if you're older, you get, and especially here, you dehydrate quick. In Winnipeg, I don't care who you are. Like this place sucks the moisture out of you. I don't know what it is. It's the wind.
There's something messed up with it, dude. I got my water bottle with me at all times.
Dude, it's crazy.
I still feel like I don't drink enough.
So water, and then anti-inflammatory foods like pineapple, right? Things like that. Things that'll bring down the inflammation in your body. More natural sugars, stuff like that. Less carbs. And not as many like heavy proteins. Like don't eat tons of red meat, because yes, okay, it'll build muscle when you get natural creatine out of that and iron and stuff, but it's like red meat takes forever to digest in your body. It's not natural to eat. Like it's not, we weren't, as the first humans, we weren't going to see what cow we would kill in the field and eat it. We were eating fruits and grains and natural things, right? So trying to like, and sleep, main one, sleep. Because if you don't sleep, your body doesn't recover. That's when your blood goes in your marrow and repairs everything with the stem cells. And it can't get in there unless you get REM sleep.
You know what's crazy? I had my blood work done recently, and I've had my blood work done 10 years ago, and both times the doctor said your blood is amazing. Your blood is really good. Your blood is fine. But I still struggle with energy levels, and I think that there's a chemical imbalance in my brain that, weirdly enough, doesn't have anything to do with nutrition.
Martial arts will help.
Right.
I guarantee you, but you got to stick in the pocket and not like, the thing with it. What I did is I understood this. Everything's balanced, right? So when you're training to destroy things, you got to do just as much creation,
right?
And not just recovery in your body, but you got to, because martial arts is up here mainly. Because there's going to be moments where you're like, I can't do this. My knee hurts. I don't want to do this. I'm tired. But pushing through, that's the one thing that martial arts teaches you, is like, you get out of it. You get out of that void, and you come out of the gym and you feel exhausted, but you're happy. Because you left it all out there. And then you know how hard that was, because the next training session is going to be harder. And the more hard things you accomplish, that's when you build it up here. Those energy levels come, but sometimes you got to kick yourself in the ass. That's all it is. Right?
Yeah, for me, I'm okay with pain. I just don't want to be causing damage to my bones and my cartilage. That's
so condition
thing,
it
right?
slowly, right? Because what I used to do for Muay Thai is I had a marble rolling pin on my shins.
Every day. That helps, man.
And what it does is it gets rid of shin splints, and it also conditions microfractures. You got to think microfractures, right? So like, you know how like karate masters have those build up and density of bones?
They have calluses.
You don't want to do it to the point where you're like arthritic. Right. I play congas. That's I have calluses, bone calluses, and skin calluses all over my hands from playing hand.
Well, my knee surgery is based on a mild arthritis condition. That's not arthritis, but I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Get a heat pad, ice and heat.
Yeah, I use ice pads right now. Actually, the ice packs help a lot, and I have a knee brace too.
And if you're training and you need to stop because you think there's nothing wrong with that, dude, then what you can do is not work the leg, work your hands.
That's a good point.
Hands. Yeah, that's why I was thinking. Work on basics.
That's what I was thinking. I'd start with boxing, get my foot in the door with MMA.
Good way to get those strong, like the ligaments, is skipping rope.
Okay.
I skip rope every day, dude.
Yeah.
And then in soccer, like I roll my ankle like crazy. I get tackled by these guys. Like I get mad and I burn them. Like they get mad out there. And I'm like, the way I handle it is I skip rope. Because since Wage Mail, like 2017, I tore my right hamstring twice, tore my left one once, tore my quad like 2 years ago playing soccer out there. So I'm tearing muscles too, man. I'm in pain. Like I get cramps and stuff when I play. But
that's the thing. That's my thing with pain. Pain is okay, but it's, am I damaging my body? That's what it is. Like I'm cool with pain, but it's
if it doesn't swell, you didn't really damage it.
So
sometimes it's mental. Sometimes it's really mental. Because sometimes your brain will be like, we don't want you to use that because we got messed up in the first place. It's kind of like when you're, like we were talking about the dating game earlier. A lot of guys won't date because they don't want the pain anymore. It's not easy, dude. Like it's not a cakewalk, right?
No.
So you got to put yourself out there because your brain's gonna be like, you don't want to do it, dude. You don't want to date this. You don't want to train like that because
struggled with
you're gonna kill yourself again.
For years.
Yeah, dude. So it's like sometimes you gotta take a risk, and listening to your body. It's the same with music. Like if you don't listen to your body, then it's really, you got to be unified. This and this are no different.
Yeah.
People separate the mind from the body, but it's not different. It's consistent of the same cellular structure.
Facts.
Right? It's the same unit. It's not two separate things.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm understanding that now more than ever.
Yeah. So if you feel, it depends on the pain. Because if it's like, say you train and then immediately you get pain, that means you probably damaged something. But if you're sore the next day and it's not like a sharp, depending on the pain.
Oh, I love that sore. I love feeling that.
Yeah. But you're going to be achy because you're getting old.
That's great.
You're getting old and you got an
always
injury.
achy.
Welcome to being human.
Yeah.
There are warriors in the past that trained for wars, which we were not training for, that didn't have an arm.
Yeah.
And they still went.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
So knowing yourself, knowing your limits, but not pushing beyond that macho garbage is trash. Take that, throw it out, because that's everybody's different. And just because you need to bow out doesn't mean you're a pussy. It means that you're human and you know
not
your
everyone
limits.
needs to wake up at 5 a.m.
If that guy
to be
trains
successful.
through all the bullshit, the one guy that's like, oh, why you bowing out and that kind of garbage, like that macho shit, 2-3 years from then, he's probably not going to be able to move.
Bro, he's probably not
already in pain.
Yeah, it's probably not even natural. It's probably on roids,
he's on PEDs.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Because I've trained with guys on PEDs and they don't stop. But then years later, they're fat and they're in pain.
Yeah.
Right? Or they have small balls.
Yeah.
Right?
Losing hair. Yeah.
I've been all natural my whole life and I'm thin, man. I'm a small dude. I'm like 140, 145 on a good day. And it's like you train how your body is and you train what you can. So say if it's knee pain, don't kick, dude. You know what I mean? Just check kicks. And if you want to kick with the other leg, but you got to train it slowly but surely because it's just recovery of that leg.
Good stuff. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Cool, man.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I was just thinking like we coming close on time here. No, that was really, really cool, man. I didn't even know where the conversation was gonna go, but I like where it went.
Because this last time I went to Cuba, there's this group that played. It was called Rumberos El Mayambeque, and I have video. I have like a whole hour of footage of these guys. Dude, they separated the women's voices from the men's voices to sound like a whole like choir from church, and then you had like 7 or 8 percussionists, and I was like, boom,
wow.
and you could feel it in your chest. You could hear it down the street. It was crazy. We were attracting people. So Yoruba Andabo is one of the groups. Los Muñequitos de Matanzas. I would spell it, but you can just... And if you really need to, at the end, just look up Cuban rumba or rumba cubana. There's Yoruba Andabo, Muñequitos de Matanzas. There's Rumba All-Stars. That one's easy to remember. R with no H, R-U-M-B-A. And then there's Timbalaye. Timbalaye was like they took rumba, because there's two sections to rumba. There's the quiet part that sort of builds up, and then you have the hook. The hook is like when everything's elevated and all the rhythms are hype and all the call and responses. So you have a chorus calling and responding with improvisation in between. They took that part, kind of like a lot of modern hip hop did, took the hook from stuff and then made it and doubled it. So they were playing like straight hype music the whole time. They're pretty dope. Timbalaye. But rumba cubana or Cuban rumba is what you look up if you want to hear that kind of stuff. You can hear it on Spotify, YouTube Music, everywhere. So Ramiro
is performing at Sonic Bloom on May 1st.
Boom, 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 boom.
Alongside how many other drummers?
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 people.
Okay.
Yeah, and
awesome.
All involved. One of them, 2 of them are from Cuba. Ariel and Jordan.
Yeah.
Great. Harold's from Cuba, but he's been living here for a while. He's like a championship bachata, 9 times champion, world champion in bachata, like dancing, ballroom dancing.
Okay.
Amber Ep is in my crew. She's like she's known in the city for piano playing and jazz singing. She's one of the hardest working musicians. She's got gigs left and right.
Yeah.
Victor Lopez Bustamante, who's like my roommate / best friend, he's in it so far, and that's us. So usually the groups are bigger. Usually they're like 8 to 11 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm limited, right? So
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
what people that know the rhythms and people that can sing it, and the mixture of Yoruba and Spanish is like,
Right.
it's hard for people.
Yeah, and also it's a paid gig, and you know you have to like spread the money around too.
Yeah,
like
no, absolutely. I'm gonna be paying the Cubans because they just moved here and they're trying to like make ends meet.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, we're all poor, but I asked my crew like straight out. I'll be honest. I'll be like, who needs the money more?
Exactly.
And if they're like me, then I'll spread it around that way.
Yeah.
So, but it's also to give opportunities for these guys to play stuff that they don't play there because they miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like we played. There was their group, Bill in Black, and then Metaclave, which is Victor's group that fused this last Saturday when we were playing at the Riverside, and it's like they miss it so much they left their spouses there and their kids, right? So this stuff brings them back to that stuff. So it's like the two new timba bands in the city are Bell in Black, which is their crew, and then Metaclave, which is our crew, which we combine.
Yeah.
And like,
well, this will be a great opportunity for them too, because they'll have a captive audience and they'll have people that have never heard them before, guaranteed.
and
Yeah.
they are professionals because they came with the national folklore group for Folklorama for the Cuban Pavilion.
perfect.
They were two of the main guys that stayed.
That's what's up.
And so our goal eventually, this is my goal, and I've talked to them, and it's their goal too, is that we want to build a school of this stuff in central Canada
That'd be
that
sweet.
teaches this type of culture music. The dancing and the music don't go separate. You need both. Because
Yeah.
you don't know how to play unless you know how to dance it, and vice versa. So that we're going to be training people how to dance this stuff and how to sing it. And Latin Dance Winnipeg is going to be training the Afro-Cuban dance stuff, all the arara and the lukumi stuff, and the Yoruba stuff, the Santeria stuff, all the Cuban rumba stuff, and even the 6/8, a lot of the 6/8 rhythms that come out of that. And then I'm going to be teaching, plus them teaching all the rhythms and stuff, to even kids in the Latin community, white community, Nigerian community, the African community, whatever you want to learn. If it calls to you and you want to learn it, eventually that's what we want to do, is build a school, because there's nothing like it in Canada. They teach Latin music in some of the jazz schools in like across the country, and there's some groups, but not all of them are like professional schools that can perform and stuff like that.
Oh, trust me, I grew up playing jazz in Winnipeg. Every now and then you hear about Tito Puente, you know what I mean? And like you play some like clave, you know what I mean? But like, it's not in depth.
It's funny because on the prairies, people understood it's like, hey, you want to play Latin? They're like, yeah, I got a bunch of samba and bossa novas, and you're like, okay, that's Latin, but there's a whole world of music out there that you don't even know about. Like there's stuff in Honduras, there's stuff in Panama, there's Mexican type stuff, there's Cuban stuff, there's Dominican stuff, Puerto Rican salsa is completely different. Like you have stuff from Colombia, you have stuff from Chile, you have Argentina. The tango originally was Afro influenced. Tango's Afro influenced originally, because it was a lot of the migration from the African diaspora and Cuba that went there to work in the burlesque houses, and it was illegal. That's why it was illegal. And same with merengue in Dominican was illegal as well, because it was African based.
Crazy, man.
You really
they couldn't squash it though.
I don't know about you, but you really put me on game today, because I didn't know. I didn't know
squash it. Hip hop too was illegal. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know about merengue and tango, but like,
tango has clave in it. And merengue is really African based. It was called originally, the music is not merengue, it's perico ripiao. And it came from a club in the northern part of Dominican. There's literally, the word is ripped up parrot. That's the name of the club. And they danced a very sensual dance called merengue and bachata. And they made it illegal because it was too sexual for the Catholics.
Right.
And literally merengue means meringue. So you're making meringue.
Yeah.
How do you make meringue? Sex.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how like sex is how we reproduce, but it's sinful.
Yeah. Come on. How do we continue? Now they want us to procreate because they're complaining that we're not doing it anymore.
Continuing the human race.
Sex is really bad, but we need you to make kids.
So they'll show you the most violent, like head getting ripped off in a movie, but a nipple is like, a nipple,
or something even intimate, like intimacy. People are like, no, dude.
So you're telling me if
every other culture is different.
If
right?
I met a woman
so
and
weird. I feel like
think she's beautiful, I should do the merengue with it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. If you come out to some of the Latin events that we play at, dude, this last weekend I was like, they have this video clip in the last clip that I posted on my story. It was like, this is the vibe, and it's Latin Dance Winnipeg displaying, and they're going across this, all these like really beautiful people dancing, men and women just dancing, and then there I am next to my drums, and I'm tired, I'm waiting for my wings, and I'm like, And they zoom up on me. I'm like,
So in Latin dance, is it usually like a paired dancing, or can it be solo
yes,
also?
but also Cuban rumba has individual dancing. There's some dances that only the men dance, and some that only the women dance.
We just started getting into hip hop dance, and it's opening the door to all these other dance ideas that like we may want to like step into, and like jazz, break dance, Latin
dance has a lot of influence in break dancing. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, Latin people in New York that were doing break dancing.
Yeah, we were talking about getting sore. I get sore just from dance.
The guys from Electric Boogaloo from the movies, Puerto Rican.
Okay.
There's Turbo, and then the other guy. The other guy, I forget his name, but he was Puerto Rican descent. So, and they mixed Latin steps in the hip hop, and I don't know where that got forgotten, but I think I'm seeing it more now when I see these championships, Red Bull championships.
Yeah, because
like playing Latin music, and I'm like, that's sick.
like breakdancing and bopping and all that. It's now like an Olympic sport.
It's fusion.
It's no longer like hip hop anymore, you know.
So
like,
we might, I don't know if Jordan's the dancer in the crew, hey, like in our crew, and I don't know if he'll get up from the drum and start dancing, because sometimes they catch the spirit, right? Like he'll be like, I gotta do it. And you'll notice that some of the steps, that's all the roots of like hip hop dancing, Latin dancing. It's very Africanized sport, and if you watch the dancing, it's like, it's beautiful. The way they move, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't label things as beautiful. Like most people are like, oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. And this stuff catches your eye. The way they move, it's like,
man, I don't know about you, but I'm excited.
Stoked about it. This is the first time we're premiering it, right? So the name is Los Reyes del Ritmo, so the Kings of Rhythm. But I'm changing the name. That's going to be an AKA. I made up a new name, and it's called Los Rumberos de Odo Merin. Odo Merin is in Yoruba 4 rivers. We have 4 rivers here. So we're the rumberos of the 4 rivers.
Okay.
Yeah, we're building something.
How do we want to spend the last few minutes? Do you have rapid fire?
Do you have
specific?
We'll do some rapid fire.
A lot of info. Sorry, guys. I'm a blabber.
This is the way.
That's okay. I didn't even smoke any weed beforehand because I got to teach kids, so I got to go teach at 6:30.
Talking is what the podcast is for, so hell yeah.
Okay. If you want to learn this stuff too, like I teach it out of both schools. I'll be teaching it. So Living Music Winnipeg and Good Sky Studio. So whatever you want to do, it'll be the basis. Is I'm building a percussion army.
I went to one of the classes. It was really good. And then
I went to 2.
And then my Saturdays started getting too busy, so I couldn't do it. But I wanted to continue.
I think they're changing the time, so she's going to make it later. I heard that some of you guys wanted it later, so I can do that too. So
because I think it was like 2 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah, and then I was waking up because I wake up late. Like I'm a night owl. I'm a creative, so and I don't have a day job, so music is my thing. So like late nights thinking of music and watching movies or playing video games or smoking weed. So
facts. All right. Well, where can people follow you on social media? All right.
Social media, Instagram. If you find me there, you can find me everywhere else. It's Flaco Pito. So FLACOPITO. And Flaco means skinny. Pito is my nickname. And Pito means 3 things. I'm not Mexican, but in Mexico it means a penis. I'm not Mexican, and Mexicans usually make fun of me for that. It can mean a pin or joint or a whistle, like a referee's whistle or a whistle. Pito,
Okay.
Because no one could really pronounce Ramiro with the R's.
There we go.
Ramiro,
Follow you on the main account.
Cool. All right. Well, give him a follow, give him a shout. You know what I mean? And
follow me up. And if you want to learn this stuff, hit me up. I'm willing to talk and teach. So
facts. All right, man. Thank you so much.
No problem.
for coming here today and putting us on game. Like this is a very like inspiring like podcast for me. And I think like a lot of Africans will feel the same way. And I think it's very beautiful that like African culture has spread so much more outside of like the African borders. And what was meant to like destroy the African people, like slavery and colonization, actually like amplified.
Yeah, some Chilean guy caught up on it and started teaching to this guy right here. So,
I think that's really cool, and really looking forward to the show in May. We're just wrapping up the podcast here, and we like to wrap it with a segment that we call Rapid Fire.
Okay.
And so I'm just gonna ask you a couple rapid fire questions, and
done.
Yeah, don't think about them too much.
I won't.
And let's get into it. Okay. All right. Cheese or chocolate?
Chocolate, my guy. Yeah, chocolate. That's my vice, homie. Like I stopped eating sugar like 2.5 months ago. So bringing that stuff up to me is like, like an addiction. I'm getting into.
Man, I love Nutella, bro.
Oh, dude. Dude, you don't even know, like, the mini eggs?
Yeah.
When I got back from Cuba, I ate 2 of them in like a week and a half.
I just want to say here really quickly, like my dental problems have been flaring up, so where I'm super sensitive to sugar, and sometimes I'll just eat something sweet and I'll just be like, I have to do it, and then I'll feel this intense pain. I'll be like,
if I eat one, like a little, if someone's like, hey, do you want a piece of chocolate? I'm like, I can't, because I'm gonna eat that whole thing on you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, chocolate for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Pineapple on pizza, on yes or no?
I'm game either way, my guy. I'm game either way. You know, pineapples are good, so I don't care. Like I come from the place in Canada where we have the best pizza in Canada, award-winning pizza in Regina. That's one of the only things that, like, Regina, like, to me, besides my family, is like the pizza there is insane, dude.
Interesting.
It's a
I've never
different style.
heard that.
Yeah, it's like a mix between like Chicago deep dish and like a mix between Greek and Italian recipes, and all like heavy meat, like cheese on the top, like lasagna, not like here, and like slightly burnt. Oh man, it's good. And the bread, our bread games in Saskatchewan is good. So
okay, good to know. I know where I'm
Regina,
going,
bro.
Okay. When I drive through Regina.
Okay, noted. Okay, all right. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, chocolate, if it's good chocolate, because cheap chocolate's not good.
Facts.
But vanilla, dude, like vanilla bean. Vanilla bean. I don't mind vanilla. So yeah, I've dabbled.
Okay.
Simple.
Cool. All right. Let's see. All right. Morning coffee? Yes or no?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I make an americano every morning for myself. Double.
Nice.
I used to roast coffee for Roca Jacks back when I was like 18. There used to be one here, but there was one in Regina. I used to roast it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Biggest pet peeve?
Chosen ignorance. When you just want to be an irritator because you know you're ignorant and you know you're wrong. Guys that die on hills.
Yeah.
That kind of ignorance.
Red pill guys.
That's annoying.
Like because I stopped training in heavy MMA gyms because of that reason. We started getting infiltrated by like white supremacists, and macho dudes, and I was like, I'm out.
Infiltrated.
Yeah,
that's the right word.
Close-minded people that aren't willing to open their minds to other points of view, right? Yeah.
Intelligence to me doesn't show me how much, like, to me, intelligence isn't how much you know or how much you're right on, but how much you're willing to listen.
You're willing to know. Yeah.
Okay.
How much you want to learn, how curious.
Yes.
That's
I like
intelligence.
that. I like that. We need to clip that.
Facts. Okay, 2 more real quick. First, what is your dream collab?
My dream
Dead
collaboration?
Yeah, dead or alive.
Ooh, I would love to, like, I tried to get a hold of the Roomba All-Stars in Havana when I was there. That would be incredible. But the closest thing I got is these 2 Cubans here because they have some ties to some pretty heavy titans in Cuba. So my collab would be like community. If I can collab with the community that I live in, that shows me how much they're willing to grow and stuff. So whatever community accepts me, that's a collaboration, right? Because they're willing. A collab can only be good when it's a willing partner.
This is true. Yeah. Okay. Last question here. What is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Be patient and don't be afraid of the things that you don't know. Study and practice those things and don't assume that you know it.
Real shit. All right, that brings us to the end of the rapid fire section.
Nice.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for
problem, man.
coming in today.
Gracias.
I had a blast. I learned a lot. I think Austin learned more. It's been really great. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
As always, it's a vibe.
Thank you, Vybe Fam. Thank you for your support. And you have an ageless wisdom, like you had coming from your aura.
Thanks,
and
man.
I got inspired. I got inspired a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I drop bombs. That's what people say. I drop bombs.
I hope our viewers got inspired too. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
If you want to join a Roomba group or play some music, come out and then follow me on Instagram, and then I'll keep people updated on when my shows are and stuff. I try to do the best I can to update people on where I'm going to be playing, because I recently got asked to play in like 2 more groups. So it's like I'm playing in a psychedelic cumbia group now, and I'm going to be playing with like I got to talk to about this like Spanish guitar and ballad singing group, and like I play with Pablo Mambo, I play with Meta Clave, Ben in Black, my own Roomba group. I play with Chantel and some country and rock music and funk.
Nice.
Like if you can hit it and it makes a sound and it's consensual, I can do it. So
Fire.
Okay.
All right, yo.
Deadly.
Peace and love, Vybe family. Catch you in the next one.